Good evening, and thank you again for joining my webinar. Tonight we are going to talk about cloud storage through the forever.com website. As you know from last week's webinar where we talked about creating photo books to be able to share the valuable memories that are inside those photographs that you have. I'm a huge proponent for Forever. I'm an ambassador, and I absolutely love it. So I wanted to share with you some of my excitement and why I chose Forever over some of the other cloud storage that's out there. So let's look at why cloud storage. Think about whether you've ever lost your precious family members' memories in a fire or a flood. Whether you've ever had your external hard drive crash, whether you've had a hard time finding photos on your cell phone. I was looking for one the other day on my cell phone, and you go through, I don't know how many are on there, thousands anyway, and to try and find the exact one you want takes a bit of time. And this happens all the time, having to delete photos in order to take more. Do you long for a way to easily share photos with your family? And as I said before, being the keeper of the memories for my family, I really feel that it's my responsibility to share those back with the family in any way that I can. Do you have a hard time keeping up with technology changes? I mean, we remember, the old floppy disk, and it went from 5-inch to what was 2.5 or 3-inch, and then it went to the USB, and it just changes all the time. Oh, sorry. So it says, I love this little cartoon. My daddy doesn't put his pictures in albums anymore. Now he hides them in his computer. And I used to be a traditional scrapbooker, and I, did scrapbooks for my kids, and they absolutely loved them. They would take them out time and time and time again and look over them. And one of the favorite things that we do when we go to Scotland to visit family is we go through old photographs. We just love the joy of that and the memories that it sparks. So it's really important not to just have those where people can't find them other than you yourself. So let's just do a really quick poll, just something for fun. Just click on there, as many as you want, for where it is that you store your photographs. Okay, so it looks like the majority of people store them digitally. They store them either on a USB drive, they store them in their phone, they store them in their computer, they store them on an external hard drive. Some of us still have them in shoe boxes or drawers, and then about 64% of people have them in the cloud. I'm going to talk a little bit about albums and scrapbooks in a minute as well. How many photos do you think people took in 2017? This is one of the things that's really fascinating to me as sort of we evolve is that we used to take photographs all the time. Remember the days where you used to have to take the photo and then you would take the roll and you would take it to the pharmacy, or you would take it to Blacks, or you would take it to whatever the company was that was going to develop those for you and print them, and you would wait 10 days or a week, and then it was down to you could get it in 24 hours, and now it's a matter of seconds if you have to actually take a photograph in now, and or have to take your USB in or your SD card and have it printed. It's a matter of minutes. But now most of them, as I said, are stored either on our phone or on our computer. 7.5 trillion photographs were taken last year. You're still on the poll. All right, let's close that out. Thanks, Cheryl. 7.5 trillion. I mean, that's mind-boggling, so much so that we can't even think. We can't fathom how much that really is. So you think about all those photographs and you think about, well, who really has access to those? 4.1 trillion a year are taken on mobile phones. Another 1.5 trillion are taken either screenshots, GoPro, other devices. 1 trillion are taken on apps such as Instagram, Snapchat. Snapchat I'm never really sure about because it doesn't stay, but you have 333 billion a year on cameras. I know that when I travel, I take a camera, but other than that, I never think to take a camera. I always just use my phone. And then you have 268 billion a year that are on tablets. And of course, when we've got them on our mobile phones, we've got them on apps, we've got them on tablets, then we've got them stored on our hard drive or on our device. And when we use our camera, we've got it probably on an SD card, which we then put into our device. And again, the photos are all still there. And the only people who can see them are yourself. Where do your important family stories live? Are they in a drawer, a closet, your attic, the basement? And when was the last time you looked at them and relived the memories? When was the last time that you took out a photo album? When was the last time you took out a scrapbook? When was the last time you watched a video? Okay, so what are the options then? Well, for most of us, this is what ours looks like. This is it all organized on my in my pictures, which is a folder on the computer. Some of them are not this organized. And some of them are on cloud storage. So let's look at some of the cloud storage and what is available through them. So most of us, if we are iPhone users, we use the cloud to back it up. And we do that so that when we replace our phone, we can download all of our pictures again. You get to a point though, and my phone is constantly telling me this. I have 32 gigs on my phone, but it's constantly telling me I don't have enough storage. I don't have enough storage. I don't have enough storage. So my choice is to then pay for that storage, which I'd be fine to do that, or I have to start deleting photos. And yeah, I can delete photos. There's some on there that I probably don't really need, but the time and energy that it takes just to go through and figure that out isn't worth it to me. So an interesting thing about the iCloud, because we have talked about, that's easy enough to do. It's an automatic thing. It's a setting on your phone, and it just gets uploaded to the cloud. But let me tell you about how Apple works. I had, I think it was my last phone. I had, you get your iPhone set up and you put your account, your username in there, and you put your password in there, and then it uploads to cloud storage for you, and it allows you to buy apps, and it allows you to do a whole bunch of other things. And then I wasn't able to get into my account. So I went to go and change the password, thinking that was the issue. It wouldn't let me change the password. So it wound up, I was finally on the phone. Now, the reason that I had done this was I got a new phone. So of course, none of that stuff migrates, right? So I had an account under one username and password. I'd had it for, probably 2.5, 3 years. My pictures and everything were there. And now I get a new phone and I go to get all that stuff back. And of course I can't, because I can't get into that account. So after time on their help page and their forums and calling them, the story was it was going to take 30 days, I kid you not, for them to be able to figure out whether I was actually me and whether I should have access to my own photographs. I'm not sure how they were going to do that, because they didn't particularly ask for any information other than the information they took when I called. In a standard, like when you call a bank, what's your date of birth, who was your mother's maiden name, those sorts of things. But they weren't sure that this was me, and so they weren't going to give me access. So I actually wound up having to create a new account. So I now have a whole bunch of pictures in iCloud under a different account that I can't access. True story. Facebook, we all do Facebook. And that's a great place to have pictures. Facebook owns all of your content, all of it. That's in their terms of service. And when you upload to Facebook, it becomes theirs. And we know that, a huge eye-opener for us was just in the last couple of months with the whole Cambridge Analytica. They own everything that we put on there, our thoughts, our likes, everything. And they use all of that information. They mine all of the data for everything we do on Facebook to determine what ads they're going to put there, to determine what is going to be put in our news feed and what priority is going to be put in our news feed. Just absolutely everything. That's what they're about. Dropbox is another way to do it. Dropbox is free up to a certain point. After that certain point, it's not free. And if you don't pay, you lose access to Dropbox, and they can delete that at any time. Anytime. Shutterfly, a lot of people don't understand the difference between Shutterfly and Forever. And so we're going to look at that. So Shutterfly provides no permanence, which Forever does. We'll see that in a minute. No rights to your digital stuff. They can hold your content hostage, and they can delete it anytime they want. There's a little bit more on their terms of service we'll take a bit more of a look at. And then there's Google Drive. Again, it's like iCloud. It's dead easy to do. Google invades your privacy for a living. And I'm going to give you a really bizarre situation that I had last week. I actually posted about this on my wall on Facebook. So I was on Twitter, actually, but I use Google Chrome. I was on Twitter, and I sent a private message to a colleague in Scotland. I was looking for somebody who could do a talk or a presentation on the connection between Scotland and slavery. Okay. Now, I know that Professor Tom Devine does that routinely. However, I wouldn't contact Professor Tom Devine any more than I would contact the Pope to do a presentation. I mean, it's just, there's certain circles you just don't do that with. So I asked a colleague if he knew anybody, maybe there's another genealogist and that's their area of expertise. I don't know. So he says to me, well, you know what? There is a professor in the Highlands, and here's his name. And he said, I don't know how to contact him. I know I went to a talk of his. He was really, really good. Here's his name, and Google him and you'll find him. So I Google him, and of course I find him, get his contact information. The very afternoon, so that was in the morning, that very afternoon, in my news feed comes up articles, links to articles that contain information about him or that he was interviewed for. I thought I was having a private conversation. I did a Google search as a result of that conversation, and all of a sudden my news feed on Facebook completely changes. Forever is guaranteed permanent, and permanent really is the key here. Cloud storage, data migration, they will move it from the 5.5-inch floppy to the 3-inch floppy to the USB to whatever it is we're going to do next. You retain all digital rights, and they will not do any data mining at all. So iCloud, you can look through the terms of service. You are responsible for backing it up to your own computer or other device. Any important documents, images, or other content that you store via their service. Apple does not guarantee or warrant that any contact you may store or access through the service will not be subject to inadvertent damage, corruption, or loss. Forever has a triple backup guarantee. Google Drive. When you upload, submit, store, send, or receive content to or through our services, you give Google and those we work with a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create derivative works, communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and distribute all of your content. This license continues even if you stop using Google. Our automated systems analyze your content, including emails, and apparently, including some other stuff, and the analysis occurs as the content is sent, received, and when it's stored. So let me show you just how that works with Google. I did a Google search. Search term, Scottish genealogy. I went actually for images just because, and the ones that are highlighted are my own photos. So you can see here, that's my photo. I created it myself. That's a logo on my Facebook page. I created that myself. That's mine, and this is mine. So Google has my number and Google has my content. Shutterfly. So Shutterfly says that depending on any third party that you use, so they will take your photos from Facebook, they'll take them from Instagram, they'll take them from Flickr, they'll take them from wherever, and they will upload them into your Shutterfly account. But you have to ensure that all of that stuff is going to remain private, and it is available through their site and through their apps. If you stop using Facebook, you stop using Twitter, you stop using Shutterfly, you stop using Instagram, Snapchat, all of your content is gone. Compare that with Forever, who will do a one-time backup of your Facebook photos. So they will ask for access to your Facebook so that they can grab your photos and upload them to your account, and then they never go near Facebook again. And if you delete your Facebook account, all of those photos are still on your Forever account. You don't lose them just because you shut down Facebook, or just because you no longer use Flickr, or just because you no longer use Snapchat. Shutterfly recommends that you back up the copies of your user-submitted materials, which is your photographs. Forever does that for you. We may direct you to sites, software, or services owned by third parties. Okay, so this is where the data mining comes in, and they are now going to inundate you with, hey, we think that you would like the services of, and you're going to get advertising. We have not reviewed the third-party properties to which you may be directed and have no control over them. Let that sink in. Okay, Forever. The Forever Guarantee. We guarantee that we will preserve your memories for your lifetime plus 100 years. Our goal is to keep your content safe for much longer. You control your legacy. We enable you to decide how your memories will be shared with future generations, who has access to view them, who has access to curate them, and who manages the content in your account. We will never shut down your account or delete your content unless that is what you have asked us to do. And we'll look at that a little later on. You own your memories. This is the key to Forever. You own your memories. They don't data mine. They don't sell it to a third party. They don't delete it unless you tell them to. They don't claim any copyright over it whatsoever. You own your memories, as you should. You retain sole ownership of all of your content, and we will always give you the ability to download or delete as you see fit. So they're not going to delete, but if you want to, go ahead. The only time they access your content is to be able to store it for you. So I've uploaded to my Forever account. Forever then takes that and they back it up. They back it on 3 different servers so that I've always got it. So if anything happens, something gets hacked, anything, it's still there somewhere, and they can then restore it all for me. You have complete control over what content you choose to keep private. You can choose to share with family or friends, or you can choose to share it publicly. We will maintain the privacy of your memories at the privacy level that you choose, now and in the future, so you never have to wonder who can see this. We are committed to an experience where you and your private information are not the product up for sale. We will not sell or rent your personal information, disclose your information to third parties, or sell advertising against your content. The information we collect about how you use your service is used solely to provide customer support, complete your requests and transactions, and to help us understand how to innovate and improve our services over time. So, quite an interesting difference. Let's go then and have a look. Let's go then and have a look at the Forever website. So this is mine, obviously. Up in here, you'll see who your ambassador is. You can change that if you want. It should be me. If I've given you a referral link, it will automatically be me. If it's not, I would really appreciate you putting it as me, and then I can help you. with anything that you may have issues with as we go along. This is sort of the store, okay? They've changed the way this used to be, but that's fine. So you can buy storage, okay? Let's just move. I have a panel thing here. I just need to move out of my way so that I can, here we go. So right now for storage, you save 30% on storage with a single payment with the code JingleJune. Now, we'd used that before. If you use the link that I sent you to create your free account, you would have received a coupon for $10. If you are not one of the people who last week created a photo book and used the $10 towards the printing of that, you still have that. You can add that in with your 30% off. Okay, so 10 gigs of storage. You can do it in a one-time single payment of $199. Now, these prices are US. You can do it for $199. With your 30% off, that makes it $139, and you add to that your $10 coupon, and you're getting it for $129, which is an incredible bargain, actually. If you're not able to do a one-time payment, you can pay $19 a month until it's paid off. Now, with the $19 a month, you don't get the 30% off, and you don't get to use the $10 coupon. Okay. Let's go back to the storage. All right, there again. Now, the other thing that I talked about the last time, and I will say it again for people who weren't on the webinar last time, they upload in full resolution. They don't compress your photos the way Facebook does, or the way that they're compressed to be able to fit on your phone. And when you download in full resolution. You lose nothing by using Forever to store your photographs. So you get the full quality of the picture that you take when you upload, and then again if you download it. And that makes it really, it's a huge difference too when you come to the point where you're going to create. So if you're going to create a photo book, you want to have 300 DPI for the resolution. Absolutely minimum 300 DPI. Anything other than that is going to look pixelated. It's going to be fuzzy, blurry, and people are going to think there's something wrong with their eyesight. And if you're giving this as a gift, or you're creating this as a legacy so that the next generation or 2 generations or 3 generations from now can have those memories, you don't want it to look like garbage. You want it to be good quality. You're already investing the money in creating the book. You're investing the time in creating the book. It's a fabulous quality book that you're going to get back. The paper is outstanding. It's put together very, very well. You don't want to have fuzzy pictures in it, right? So it's really important that your resolution doesn't change just because you're storing it in the cloud. Okay. So then we have, and this is always a really cool one, we have here scanning. So they have conversion services. And this really, apart from the fact that it's forever, that is permanent. Like I told you before, when I had the opportunity to interview Glenn a couple of years ago at Roots Tech, I was sold when he said, if my daughter, when I asked him, if I create a book and my daughter wants to be able to create a book using those same pictures or actually reorder that book, 10 years after I'm gone, will she be able to? Yes. And 10 years after she's gone, your granddaughter will be able to too. And that for me is permanent. That's what forever means. So I have all of these other memories, and I wanted to be able to save them, and I wanted to be able to have them in a way that future generations can enjoy them. We've all done the home movies on an old 8mm. We've done the movies on the old video cam. We've done them on the VHS. We've even done them on DVD, and we want to have those digitally preserved for our lifetime, forever. So I'm just going to show you. So here's what I did. I got a storage box. This is how you do it. It's really very, very easy. Okay. You choose a box. So you order this box. Again, these prices are in US. So you buy a basic box for $79. That includes $50 worth of conversion. So remember that piece. You get a standard box, which is $149, but includes $100 worth of conversion. Or you get a deluxe box, which is $400, but it includes $300 worth of conversion. And the reason you need to know that is this. This basic box, which was the first one I bought, I think it's a lot. I think I only ever bought the one basic. I've upgraded. Generally, when I order a standard. So I ordered the basic box. This is my first time. I don't know what I'm doing. So I order the basic box, and part of my $79 that I'm paying is that it is shipping, right? So they ship the box to me. It comes by FedEx. So FedEx drops off the box. I open it up, and there's a checklist in there and instructions on what I need to do. And it says I can send in 2 VHS tapes. Great. So I pack up my 2 VHS tapes, and I think, wait a minute, I can get more in there. So I put 2 more VHS tapes in there. So I, for $79, got the box, and I put 4 VHS tapes in there. Now that's 8 hours worth of memories, 8 hours worth of video, okay? But $50 is gonna go towards converting that. The price list for converting a video is $25, $24.99. So if I get the $79 box, they've shipped the box to me, I put the 2 videos in, my $50 is going to cover the conversion of that. So I don't have to pay another single penny, okay? I pack it up in the box, and I, by FedEx, send it back. That's already paid for. I don't have to pay to ship it back. That's all part of my $79. I simply take it to the FedEx box or the FedEx depot, hand it to them, with all the stuff printed out that filled out that is sent inside the box, so the packing slip, all of that kind of stuff. Put it back in there, and it goes off to Wisconsin, to the state-of-the-art conversion program center, and they convert it for me. And every step of the way, I am given notification. So I find out when it's there, and then they look through and they say, okay, 2 tapes, it's not going to cost her anything more. And then I get a notice saying, it's being shipped on the way back, and then I get it. And it comes back on, I can choose whether I want it on a DVD or a thumb drive. I chose the thumb drive. And that's it. So for $79, basically the additional $29 is shipping 3-way, right? So they're shipping it to me, and I'm shipping it back, and then they're shipping it back to me. Cracking deal. I put 4 tapes in. And so when it gets to Wisconsin, I get a phone call from Forever, and they say, we've done an inventory of your box, and you have 4 tapes in here. You get $50 worth by buying the box, so it's going to cost you another $50 to do the other 2 tapes. Another $50 to do the other 2 tapes. Great. So I get now 8 hours for 79 and 50, $129. Okay, so by the time I convert that, we're looking at maybe $160. Great. They convert them all. I have to pay through, up in here, you'll see there's a cart. So they put in here, I would click on here, and there would be sort of an invoice in there. I go ahead and pay. Once they receive payment, they go ahead and convert that, and then they send it all back to me. And the originals come back too. So I'm not losing that. I'm not giving that up. The originals all come back in the box as well, along with it in digital format. The reason I'm telling you this in great length is I was in possession of a video that had some very old memories on it. My husband actually had taken an old 8mm film of me when I was younger and my brother when he was when we were kids, and he had that converted for me one year onto a VHS tape. So I thought, and I had this VHS tape, and this is before I even knew about Forever, probably before Forever even launched. And I thought, okay, I want to be able to preserve that, and I want to have it in a format that's going to do that. Now we're all into DVDs. Let's get it made into a DVD. Great. So I take it to my neighborhood photo store, photo service store, and for $200, I got a shoebox, and I put the 1 tape in there for $200, 2 hours, and I got it back on DVD. So for just under the same price I paid for 2 hours, I was able to get 8 hours from Forever. Okay, absolutely no comparison. No comparison at all. That alone is a selling feature for me. Okay, so, and you can put all kinds of stuff in there. It doesn't have to be videos. It just happened to be. You can put in photographs. They're scanned at 600 DPI and they're saved as JPEG. If you send your photographs in, I think it takes 100 pictures or something. I forget what it says it takes in there. Let's see if it tells us in here. Yeah, 4 VHS tapes. Yeah, I forget. I think you get sort of like 50 or something. I have it somewhere on a slide, but obviously I didn't include that. Anyway, so it's 40, did I say 49 cents? So what they do then is they would take your photos, you would send them in, they would scan them. They scan them at 600 DPI and they just appear in your library. They're in an account there, in your account. And then the originals come back to you. The same with slides and the same with negatives. Okay, you bundle those up in bundles of 25, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then mail it off in your box. They'll call you. So what they'll do is they'll go through and they'll say, okay, you're only supposed to have 2 bundles of 25 and you've got 4. This is how much more it's going to be. Do you want us to proceed? And then they'll get you to go to your cart and pay the extra, and then they'll go ahead and convert that for you. And then it just shows up in your account, in your Forever account. So the photos show up in your account, the negatives show up in your account, the slides show up in your account, and you get your originals all back. Photo albums, you can send in photo albums, and it's $1.25 per side of the page. And I strongly encourage anybody who is a digital scrapbooker, or sorry, a traditional scrapbooker, to send in their Creative Memories pages. So you take it out of the binding. It used to be that you had to take the sleeves off. Apparently you don't have to do that now. You would need the deluxe box, not the deluxe box, the standard box, the middle size one, and you're going to put your pages in there. The other one's not big enough to hold the size of your pages. You're going to put your pages in there. They're going to do that, and so each page will be like a photograph. It'll be a digital image. And then what you do, dead simple, you either go to Forever Print, which is the easiest way to do it. You pick a basic book with really nothing in it, and you simply upload each page. You upload 1 picture, so you have 1 picture per page, and you have your book recreated in no time. And then you can make, if you have 3 kids, you can make 3 copies, and it's a whole lot cheaper and a whole lot easier, a whole lot faster than having to think about having to create another traditional scrapbook. You simply just take what you had, send it in, get it digitized. Each page becomes a digital image. Go in, create a blank book. Each page is blank, and you just make that as your image fits to the page, and then they will have that ready for you. And again, those images will show up in your account. The videotapes we already talked about, and old films, they will take the old 8mm. They'll take the little cassettes that used to go in the video cams. They'll take anything, honestly, and they will convert that for you. And I'm telling you, it is absolutely worth it just to be able to preserve your memories, even just to preserve them to this point, right? And beyond this point, then you've got them for future generations. And I'm just going to show you just a little clip here of one of the things that I was able to do when I had it converted. So this is my daughter when she was just coming up for 3, and we were in Scotland to go to my grandmother's 90th birthday party, and we were hanging out with my uncle and his family, and they have a dog. Oh, sorry, that's not it. I completely lied. I'm sorry. I uploaded the dog one to her Facebook account. This one actually is even better, which is probably why I chose you. So this is at my grandmother's house on her 90th birthday. My cousin paid to have a piper come in. My cousin paid to have a piper come in for my granny's birthday. This is me standing here. And this is my aunt. So my aunt from Canada had gone over. My mom had gone over. Family were up from England. We had family from the north of Scotland. We had family over. Everybody is gathered at Granny's house for Granny's birthday. and the Piper is playing, and this is my aunt just happened to pick up my daughter and dance with her. So that's memories that could have been lost forever if I had not taken the video and sent that into Forever to have them convert it for me. And now we've got that forever. I mean, literally, we have it forever. And one of the really exciting things is later this year, you will also be able to add video to your Forever account. Obviously, you'll need more storage in order to be able to do that, but you'll be able to save it there, and you'll be able to then, if it migrates to a different format, they'll do all of that for you. You never have to worry ever again about how am I going to get this so that it's presentable and tangible and other people can take advantage of it. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do, I like to look at the deals. I do this probably the beginning of every month. So we had talked about this before. This is the Jingle June. So every day there, for those of you, we'll talk about this in about 3 weeks' time when we do the artisan webinar. They have digital kits digital art kits for sale. Every day it's a different one. Okay. So as I said before, so if you are doing printed projects, this is all valid through the end of June. If you're doing printed projects, so if you haven't got your photo book printed yet and you're going to print it, like I said, do that before the end of June. 40% off by using the code JingleJune, and then add your $10 in there if you haven't already used it. If you're going to purchase conversion boxes, again, it's 15% off by using Jingle June, and again, you can add your $10 coupon in there. And the other thing is you also get $15 off overages, right? So I had talked before that my extra 2 tapes cost me an extra $100. I would have been able to take the $15 off of that, which would have taken it down to $85. So honestly, there is no money in the world that I wouldn't pay just to have those memories preserved. And your single storage, so your Forever storage, if you're going to make the single payment, you can get 30% off using Jingle June. And again, if you haven't used your $10 coupon, it's only valid for 30 days. So I would encourage you to use that as well and take advantage of that. Okay. And for those of you who have not yet done it, if you want to use the link that I sent you to create your free account, which is 2 gigabytes. Play around with the site for a little bit before you decide to purchase more storage. Do the conversion boxes, see how that works out for you, and then create some family books. Honestly, I guarantee you, once you get hooked on all that kind of stuff, you're going to want to purchase the storage because that's where all your memories are going to be. So if you haven't already clicked on the link, go ahead, do that. Forever will send you a coupon code for $10 off, and you can use that on pretty well anything. You can use it to pay for your book that you're going to print. You can use it for your conversion, or you can use it for storage. It's really your choice as to how you're going to use that. So we're going to then, this is really where you're going to do most of your work when you're in your Forever account. So we're going to come here just for a minute. So this is your profile. You'll create your profile. All right, so I can change my profile picture. I can edit my name and my bio. I'm not even sure what I put in there as a bio. Friends and family. So these are some people that I have invited. I have some of my, well, most, I think, of my albums are open to friends and family, and I have invited people to join me on Forever. They get a free account. They sign up and get a free account, and then they can view my pictures. And I've given them So they can view my pictures and go through them. Now my cousin, this is my cousin in Australia, and he has been fantastic about going through the McDonald photographs that I have there, and because he's quite a bit older, well, not quite a bit older, he'd kill me for saying that. He's about 8 years older than me, and so he knows people, or would remember people that I might not remember or recognize. And so, you know, I have photos in there, and I'll say to him, I want you and your sister to go through this, and I want you to tell me, you know, who I'm missing. And so then he can go ahead and label those people for me. This is my son, and so here's how you go ahead and you make this person your account manager. I simply turn this on. Okay, so Christopher, my son, is now going to be my account manager, and what that means is that when I die, he gets access and control over my account. Okay. So my account settings right in here, check this up fairly regularly. So I would like my private content to become accessible to my friends and family. This is after I die, either never, and he can't change this. As account manager, he doesn't get to change this. He just gets to manage whatever I've already done in there, okay? So I can choose never. I can choose a year after my passing, friends and family can have access, 5 years after, 10 years, 25 years, or 100 years, okay? I would like my family and friends content to become accessible to the public. Again, I get the same choices. Now, reality is I would probably get this. I obviously haven't done this, but I would go ahead and do 1 year after my passing, or probably actually immediately after my passing. I want them to do a nice book for me. I want them to do some sort of nice video for me. So they can have it immediately after my passing, they can have access to it. My friends and family to become public. Personally, I wouldn't want to do that because there's photographs of children in there, and so I wouldn't want that information, you know, their photographs or any information that I have in there about them. I wouldn't want that to be made public ever. I want to continue to have people's trust in allowing me to be their memory keepers and trusting me with their photographs. So I would never set anything to public that included other people. And I can remove him, you know, immediately after I pass. I can move him 5 years after, 10 years after, 100 years after, or never. Okay. I showed you this again before. So this is storage. I've used 61% of my 30 gigs, and I still have 11.54 gigs available. I can add storage absolutely anytime. So I can, you know, go ahead as a new person to forever. I can play around with the 2 gigs, which you've had the chance to do over the last couple of weeks. Decide, yes, absolutely, I'm going to purchase 10 gigs. I'm going to take advantage of the Jingle June. I'm going to take advantage of the $10, and I'm going to add storage. Right, so I just simply do that, and then it walks me through the process of doing all of that. Right, I can decide how much I want. So here's the difference between a free account and a not so free account. In the free account, in both accounts, you get to store your photos. You can access them from anywhere. So wherever you can get access to the internet, you can access your photos. That's been ideal for me. When I've been in Scotland, I have been able to get online, and I've been able to show family photographs that other people have trusted me with. There's a free mobile app, which I absolutely love. All right. So this is what your app looks like. This is sort of your home screen, and then you get to have auto sync on there. I actually turned that off when I was in Scotland, but turned it off after I got back from Scotland. When I was in Scotland, I had it on auto sync so that any photographs I took with my phone automatically uploaded into my forever account. I could back up the iPhone, so when you first get your phone and you download everything, go ahead and upload that. So everything on your that was on your phone is now in your forever account. They also allow you to do a one-time, as I said, a one-time backup of your Facebook photos. So regardless of whether you have a free account or a paid account, you can go ahead and create the print books. Okay, so you've got your photos there. Again, I'm a huge, strong believer that the memories are the families, and so the way that you can share those memories, the best way that you can do that is to create photo books. And you know what? You don't have to spend a ton of money on that. Make one book, show it to people, and they want a copy, they could pay you for it. And the nice thing is it then gets delivered to their house. You don't have to worry about any of that either. It's only when you have the paid storage that you get to do the preservation settings. It's only when you have the paid storage that they will migrate it to whatever the newest technology is. And it's only when you have the paid storage that you can, that they guarantee that it will be there for your lifetime plus 100 years, okay? So how do they manage to do that? Well, they have a guarantee. We're going to scroll down again. This is the main book. Okay, so here's their promise, which I absolutely love. You pay once for forever storage and you own it for your lifetime plus 100 years, guaranteed. They will never data mine, advertise, sell your information, ever. They will migrate your stored content to the latest file formats over time, so you don't have to worry about how that's going to get done. Your files are triple backed up and secure, and we protect them for generations. Okay? And all the way down here into what we think is the fine print. And here is the forever guarantee. We protect your memories for generations, guaranteed. Okay? So let's get technical. When you buy forever storage, a large portion of your payment is deposited into the forever guaranteed fund. That money is invested so that it increases in value and pays for the recurring maintenance and preservation costs of your forever storage. So it pays to migrate, it pays to triple back up, and it pays for the cloud storage for you to be able to have that forever. Okay? So think of it as an insurance policy for your photographs and your memories. Life insurance companies use carefully managed reserve funds to make sure they can always pay claims. Universities use carefully managed endowments to pay for their operations over hundreds of years. And Forever uses guaranteed fund to save, protect, and make your information available for generations into the future. Okay? So honestly, it's to me, in my mind, and I have, I've shopped around. I've been doing, I was the memory keeper in my family probably since I was 13 years old. I think I probably had my first camera at 10. And from the time I was 13, my cousin and I were the ones who were at every event. We were there, we took the photographs, we had them printed out, we put them into albums. And I probably did scrapbooking before scrapbooking was even a thing. I always wrote a story in there so that people could pick up the album, go through it, and understand it without me having to interpret for them. So I've been doing this for a lot of years, and this absolutely is, this is my go-to. This is absolutely, in my mind, it's a no-brainer, and it's something that everybody who is the memory keeper of the family needs to have. So let's go into albums. Okay, we're going to create a new album. So again, I'll show you the last time we have the library, which is sort of all of your photographs. It's taken by date. You can decide, how you want to filter it, whether you want to filter it by year, whatever. So, I mean, who in their right mind would think that you have 13,000 photographs? If somebody had said to me before last week when I actually paid attention to this, if somebody had said to me, how many photographs do you have? I'd say, oh, I don't know, 3,000 maybe. Because I know I have a lot of photos from my family. Yeah, I probably have 3,000, maybe 3,500 if I count in all the ones I have with my kids. Yeah, wrong. I have 13,000 photographs. And I guarantee you probably do too, especially if you are the person who is the memory keeper. So you can upload, just click on the button. You can upload it from your computer. This is where you can help it so that it's not going to upload duplicates if you have this off, then it will. It will do the one-time one-time backup from Facebook. It will sync to Facebook so that anything you post on there will get backed up. They have an app. Okay. And now we're going to talk about albums. So when you upload, you can organize them into albums. This makes it a whole lot easier for you to get, to find rather. Okay. So let's look at, for instance, And this, I like this too because it tells me how many pictures are in there. So this is my mom's family. I think I told you before, she was one of 22 children. So this has what's called nested albums. So that when I go in here, I'm not looking through thousands and thousands of photographs, right? I have got inside the main folder, I've got individual folders. So I've got when the family was in Canada, I've got pictures that I received when I was putting the family tree together. I've got pictures just of my grandmother. I've got pictures my aunt passed, just before she passed away. I was there about a year before she was sick, and she gave me, she went, had her daughter go upstairs and bring me down all of the old albums, and I was able to get those photos and scan them and keep them. And she was able to get her originals back. And then I have, so this is these, the old Crawford pictures are, so it's other than my grandfather's line. So it would be his brothers. And this is my, one of my favorite uncles. It's actually my mom's cousin. And he passed away 2 years ago. And I had the privilege of being part of the end of his journey here on earth. Visited him quite regularly, absolutely adored everything about that man for his entire life, spent a lot of my childhood with him. And we did a lot of reminiscing towards the end. And I would say to him routinely, have any old photos, Scotty? Nope. Any old pictures hanging around? Nope. And so after he passed away, his wife called me and she said, bring your scanner. So I went up, 400 photographs almost. Look at that, 336 pictures I scanned in a couple of hours up at her place. So I now have all of those, and I've been able to set this is shared with friends and family, and so I shared it with his daughters so that they can come anytime, they can add to this, or they can get the photographs for themselves. They have complete access to this anytime they want it. All right. So one of the new things that I absolutely love is a collaborative album. So let's look at, we're going to do a new album, create a new album. I can set here the visibility, so I can set it that I'm the only one who can see it. I can set it for friends and family, so that I can invite friends and family to have a look at that, or I can set it to public. So in this one, I'm going to do public. Okay, and I can enter a description in here if I want. So if I was going to use this for a family reunion, this was the Crawford family reunion 2018. This is Mark and John's wedding, the christening for baby whatever. It's Michael's sporting event, Rachel's buck and doe, whatever. I can describe that in there. I'm going to then go ahead and create the new album. Okay, so I have this album, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share it. So here's what happens. I now get a link, and I can give that link to everybody. So if I'm going to go to, you have to make sure in here that other people can upload files. So make sure that button's on and not off. And then you're going to copy the link. This will be copied to my clipboard, and I can send that out in an email. I can send it out in a text. I can send it out any way I want. Post it in Facebook, anything. And I am going to say, so I've set this up, and we are going to go to the family reunion. Okay, this is a family reunion, happens every year. I'm going to give them the link. Everybody that's there that day taking photographs, so whether it's me, whether it's my cousin, whether it's my aunt, whoever is there and they're taking photographs that day, everybody gets to upload all of the photographs from that one event into this collaborative album, so that by the end of it, I've got photographs that were taken by everybody all in one place. All right. Then I can go ahead and I can edit it. Okay. I can go ahead and instead of making it public, I make it friends and family, and I invite those people who contributed. They're going to be the only ones who will have access to it. So it's not going to be for absolutely everybody. Okay. Dead easy. And then I'm going to update that. Once I've got all of those photographs, I can do whatever I want. I can go ahead and I can create an album, and I can give it as a gift back to whoever the host was. So if it's my great aunt who's holding this year's family reunion, I can get everybody to upload to the collaborative album. When I get back, I can go back into scrapbooking. I can go ahead and make a book, and oh, sorry, this is the wrong one. I'm going to do this through prints. So I can go ahead and create the book that we had talked about before last week. I can do that, and then I can give that to her as a thank you. Thank you for having us all. Here are the memories. Her kids come along and they see it and they think, wow, that's really nice. I'd like to get one of those. You simply say to them, great, it's going to cost you $79 or $99 or whatever, and they're going to give you the money. You're going to order another one. Dead easy to do. You simply go into your order history, reorder it, and get it shipped to their address. Okay, so the initial output that you're putting out is as a hostess gift. Thank you for having us. Here's your gift, and it's something you absolutely don't mind doing. And then anybody else who wants it, they go ahead and pay for their copy. You can do this with weddings. You give it back to the bride and groom as your wedding, as part of your wedding gift. You can do it for a buck and dough, give it as a gift. You can do it for a christening, give it as a gift to the baby, or you could just do it because you wanna. Which it tends to be what I do. I don't know how many books I've created, and I don't have any of them. I have probably, I would say, less than 10 books in my possession that I've created. The rest have all been given away because for me, the joy in creating them is giving them. I want to give them to the other people. I love the joy that they get out of it. I love that they now have those in their possession. I love that they love it enough that they want to cherish it, that they share it with people when they come into the home. It's put in a safe place, and it now becomes a treasured heirloom. For me, that is worth everything. That for me is part of the honor of being the person who is trusted with the memories, is to be able to put it in a tangible form and give it back. But again, I just created one for my uncle, and if his children wanted one, simple enough. Yep, give me the money. I'll make it for you. I'll reorder it for you and send it off to you. You can do this with church picnics. You can do it with sporting events. You can do it with yearbooks for schools. You look at even a nursery school. My son's nursery school, at the end of the year, we used to get together. There was a group of us, a committee, and we got together and we created a video for that we gave, that we printed off enough of them or created enough of them for the parents. This way you can go ahead and do a book. The kids love going through the books, absolutely love going through the books. And you can then, each parent pays whatever and they get their own copy, just as kids do in yearbooks. They do yearbooks for school. You can use this actually as a suggestion for your school for the yearbook. That way, it's not just the people who are friends with the yearbook committee that are going to be the ones who are in the photographs. Everybody, all of the teams get a chance to upload it. So you'd have like an activity fee, and it's maybe $35 a person or $50 a person. That then buys the additional storage that's required. You create a collaborative album and everybody uploads to that. And at the end of the year, you've got every single memory that was created by that school in that year. It's phenomenal. You can use it for just a million things. And it really is. I'm so excited about it. Absolutely so excited about it. And I just think the potential for it is incredible. So that's my new thing to do, is to create collaborative albums and have them for every event that I can think of. And then you become the go-to person. You're the one that they want to invite because they know that you're going to be able to do this, to be able to set that up, help them get that set up, and then give it back in a tangible form. So with that, I'm going to leave you just looking at your possibilities of what's available to you through Forever. In case you haven't noticed, I absolutely love it. I'm very passionate about it. I'm passionate about Forever because Forever is passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. I am passionate about collecting family memories, whether that's through photographs, children's artwork. I've started scanning in the kids' artwork, and that's all in one album. Then I don't have boxes and boxes and boxes with their report cards, their artwork, all that kind of stuff is now in digital format. I put that all into one book and I give it to them. I'm passionate about curating those memories. So, you know, I've got them stored. I can organize them. I can, you know, I can organize them. I can label them. I can share them with whoever I want. I know that Forever is going to go ahead and migrate that to any new format. So right in here, I can edit this. I can edit the title so that other people know what it is. We know that this was my granny and I in 1988. This is when it was uploaded. We know where it's nested. I can do just all kinds of stuff in here. I can add tags and do all sorts of stuff. So each photograph, you have the opportunity to do that. I can share just the photo. I can download it in full resolution. I can edit it. I can do all kinds of stuff. And if I decide I don't want it, I go ahead and delete it. So I'm really passionate about being the collector of the memories. I'm honored to be the collector of memories for my family. I'm passionate about curating that, holding on to it, preserving it in any way I can. And I'm really, really, really passionate about sharing that back. So I am going to create books. I'm going to create calendars. I'm going to create mugs. I'm going to create whatever I can that is going to then be gifted back to the people who have been so incredibly generous with allowing me to be the keeper of their memories and their photographs. And for me, it's, you know, Forever honestly stands for everything I stand for. And that for me is why I am so passionate about Forever. And I hope that through these series of webinars, you'll become passionate about Forever as well. So that's tonight's webinar. Next week, we are going to have an Ask Me Anything, an AMA. With Mariana Curran, who is my upline. And, you know, anything you want to know about Forever that I haven't answered, you can go ahead and ask her. She's every bit as passionate, probably more so, about Forever than I am. And then we're going to take a break for the July 1, July 4th holiday. And then on July the 11th, we'll come back and we will use Artisan, which is another way to be able to create through using your photographs. So you can make wall art, you can make absolutely everything. You can make photo books, and unlike the photo books that we did last week, these take a little bit more work. They're more for the people who are a little bit more creative. It allows you to put in different backgrounds, to add a little bit fancier text. You can add embellishments, do all kinds of that. So it's really like the old traditional scrapbooking, but in a digital format. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you want to send those along to me, that would be terrific. And have a great evening, everybody. Good night.